welcome to episode 30 of Arg My Optics, a podcast where two grown adults discuss, overanalyze, and generally take a toy media franchise originally intended for kids a little too seriously, usually that of the Transformers. I am your back in the studio, sitting behind a desk in a shirt and tie host, Orion Ghia, and with me is our roving reporter, soon to be live from TFNation 2023 in Birmingham's Hilton Metropole, Virtual Dave. Are you there, Virtual Dave?
I am indeed.
Excellent. So this year I am, well, I could say unable, but what I really mean is unwilling to attend TFNation. Not because I have anything against it, mind. It's a great convention. It's just a lot of travel, a lot of money, and I'm not feeling it right now. Dave, on the other hand, can't really control his feelings for TFNation and will be there for the entire weekend, won't you?
I will indeed. It was a lovely birthday present from Virtual Amy from last year.
Yes, I was going to mention. So you're going with Virtual Amy?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So what are you going to do for us while you're there?
Well, fingers crossed, if the technology is willing, I shall be doing little interviews or little chats with people out and about. Anyone who will give me the time of day.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe audio, maybe visual. We haven't decided yet. But yeah, you might see me there.
We'll see how it goes, eh? And hopefully you can give us a little recap on what you've done during the day or something, maybe in the evenings or something, if you're not too busy socializing, partying, whatever. So it's the Wednesday evening before TFNation. Are you excited?
Yes. More that I don't have to go to work tomorrow than anything else, but yeah.
Oh yeah, are you off? Are you traveling tomorrow then?
Yeah, I'm heading a day early.
Is that just so you can get there a reasonable time on Friday?
More or less, yeah, and just so we don't have to rush.
Yeah, what time does it start on Friday?
That's a very good question. I should know that.
All right. Well, I'm sure you'll know that by this time tomorrow. So, how's your preparation going?
Well, unlike last year where it was just like new experience, uncharted waters of a type of convention I've never been to, very specific type, where it's not as so many franchises all happening at once like MCM is. This is very much everyone is there for the same type of love and addiction to Transformers.
Yeah.
So now that I know a few people and I've been keeping up with all the Facebook groups and stuff, it'd be interesting just to catch up with people who was there before, chat all things legacy, mainline, what toys the people are into.
Yeah.
And that type of stuff.
Are you taking a large empty suitcase?
No. The only things on my list are the Legacy Armada stuff.
Oh, yeah. So you've got a list?
Yeah. Like 3-4 bots.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because, I mean, do you want my shopping list for you to look out for?
Mm-hmm. Yep, go ahead.
I haven't got much, but I thought, seeing you're there, if you do see it, and you won't, MMC Helix, which is the big purple one with 2 big arms and 2 smaller ones. I have zero confidence you'll find one. They are very hard to find. MMC really need to reissue it.
Mm-hmm.
And I expect it'll be insanely expensive. So, you know, if it's
someone had the other one last year, didn't they?
Yeah, but I've got that one. You're talking about Tesaurus. Tesaurus? Yeah, I got that before TFNation, so I already had that one. It's just Helix I'm missing. They don't seem to go, well, no one seems to be selling them. And when they are selling them, they're like 200 quid. So 200 quid or less, let me know if you see one. Right. Otherwise, I'm not really that bothered. Maybe if you see New Age Toy Deco Soundwave, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know In Demand Toys are doing core classes for 7 quid, apparently.
Yes, yeah, I saw that.
So if you see a Bomb Burst or a G2 Megatron, maybe grab me one of them.
Okay.
Because they're nice desktop toys that I can have at work.
Mm-hmm.
And then, if you do want to flick through old issues of Transformers comics, first 30, last 30. 1 to 30, 301 to 332. If you see them, don't pay more than 3 quid each. But obviously, you will be pretty busy with your own shopping. I don't expect you to run around with my shopping list, just in case you do come across these things, obviously.
No, I don't mind. I mean, if I think having a bit of focus going around those stalls will be helpful, because that was something I wasn't prepared for last year.
You have to have an idea of what you're looking for, don't you? You have to go in with a shopping list, otherwise you just get distracted, and it was a bit overwhelming, I think.
And it was the fact of, well, I should get it now, because if I don't get it now, it won't be here when I've done the loop walking around all the stalls type of thing as well.
Yeah, if it's something rare or like in short supply, I don't think you'll have too much trouble with legacy stuff.
Yeah, hopefully not. Yeah,
I'm surprised you've not got those pre-ordered from elsewhere anyway.
I just never did. I just haven't been pre-ordering mainline Transformers like I've used to. So
okay, well, it shouldn't be too hard to pick up after the con if you can't get them.
yeah, it'll be fine.
So you're there all 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
What are you most looking forward to outside of shopping?
Be interesting to see how the Club Con is this year. The entertainment on the Saturday, I believe.
Isn't there some live music?
I believe so. Yeah. Because I say I didn't love Gary Chalk's music last year, but it was very chill, jazzy type. But with this one, it seems like it might be a bit more of a live, upbeat concert. So interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, I haven't really looked into who that is. Who do you know who it is?
The name rings a bell, but I couldn't tell you what she's done
Well,
in the franchise, because she's obviously someone connected to one of the songs from the show.
Okay, well, I'm sure you'll be able to update us on that later.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is there anything else you want to chat about before? I don't know. We sign this off and we go into your live reporting from the convention.
Is there any drinks or beverages in the Hilton bar that I should be on the lookout for?
I don't know. It's a fairly standard bar, isn't it?
I mean, no, I didn't experiment as much as everyone did last year.
Well, if I were you, I'd just make sure you get it. It's difficult with the queuing system, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that was the problem. Yeah.
Well, that's the new thing, actually. In fact, it was Michael Quinterson who alerted me to this. Something weird's happening with people. More and more people are queuing at bars and just don't understand bar etiquette. You form a mass around the bar, and then the bar people decide who's next. You don't form a queue. That's just silly. We're not getting a bus. But yeah, they do have a queue, don't they? So yeah. If I were you, if you're planning on having a bit of a drink, maybe buy 2 at a time.
2 at a time.
Well, it depends how I know you're not a particularly heavy drinker.
No.
Oh well, cool. So yeah, so you're heading off tomorrow. Getting there tomorrow at what, evening, afternoon?
Afternoon, early afternoon. We're leaving about 10:30.
Okay, all right. So yeah, it'll be bright and bushy-tailed for the Friday's entertainment, and then on Saturday you've got more panels and so on and so forth. Sue Blue,
yeah.
And all the usual suspects, all the IDW people. Who else is there? There's a game designer, isn't there? Not game. Sorry, there's a toy designer there, isn't there? From the kind of, is it the late G1 period?
Oh, Andy Kurtzman? No, something. Andy something.
I'll look it up. We'll find out what later. But yeah, he's going to be there. So that should be interesting hearing about toy design.
It'd be nice to talk to him again, because I actually bumped into him at MCM last year as well.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right. Well, okay. Well, great. I'm looking forward to our first update from you live from Birmingham, which I imagine the listeners will hear right after this special TFNation sting.
Arg my optics, this is Inconceivable Imaginations at TFN 2023. Give it a listen, you'll enjoy it.
Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Arg my optics. This week we've gone rogue without Orion Ghia, and we've gone to TFN, the biggest Transformers convention in all of Europe. I've got Virtual Dave with me here. We've just finished our very first day at TFN. What was your favourite panel, Dave?
I've forgotten all the names of the panels, but the one that focused on dinosaurs and
Dinobots.
And the Dinobots in current media.
Cool. And what did you like about it?
I really liked how scientific it was, how going into how dinosaurs have changed and the Jurassic Park effect, and how people have been going back and forth about the designs of dinosaurs for the last 40 years. I didn't realise it was such a hot topic.
Cool. And what panel are you most looking forward to tomorrow?
I don't think I'm looking forward to any of the panels tomorrow necessarily. I think it's more the whole thing about Sue Blue and her talking about her experience with Transformers. That type of interview-based panel probably, but it's the dealer room tomorrow. It's all about the toys tomorrow. Yeah.
Mhm. And is there any toys you're particularly looking out for tomorrow?
Transformers, Armada, Optimus Prime, Legacy version.
Hopefully, in our next soundbite, we'll be able to say that you've successfully got those Transformers. Best thing about today, other than panels, our first day at TFN 2023.
The people. It's been really nice catching up with people we saw last year. Having our little squad of newcomers. We've all been hanging out today and getting food.
Yeah. Shout out to everyone who's made us feel really welcome today.
Mm-hmm.
And
except the Hilton staff who did not make us feel welcome with our outdoor pizza.
Also, shout out to the Hilton staff who very politely told us we couldn't have our Pizza Hut takeaway in their bar. I feel like we should have realised that from the very beginning.
I was very shocked that the changing of the seating we had, and I thought that's why we were in the back.
Yeah, thank you, Hilton staff. You're very understanding, very polite. We're sorry for bringing Pizza Hut into your bar.
Maybe you could have spanned in their pizza. They were jealous.
You think so?
I know so.
Okay. Shout out to Pizza Hut. We had a really great pizza. Thank you for having vegan options.
We're not sponsored, but we would like to be.
This is Plastic Cracker, TFNation 2023. Ah, my optics!
Hello, my name is Jack Lawrence, and my optics!
Hey, this is Gav Spence from TRDQ here at TFNation, and you're listening to my optics.
Hey, this is Jeremey Levy. I play Bumblebee, Jetfire, Perceptor, Whirl, and probably ones that I missed. And you are listening to ARG My Optics.
I am Lucan from Lucan's Teas, and I recommend ARG My Optics.
Shout out for ARG My Optics. This is Rob from We Can Be Heroes Disco at TFNation 2023.
We're at TFNation 2023. ARG My Optics.
Hello and welcome back to Virtual Dave and Virtual Amy Gone Rogue. We've just finished day 2 of TFNation, and by day 2 I mean we finished it, went to the bar for a few hours, came back and just started recording, wanted to put together our thoughts from the day.
Mm-hmm.
So Virtual Dave, what was your highlight from today?
Today was crazy. Today was packed. Today was very busy. But it was very good.
Highlight?
I think the music from Jahan.
That's a good answer.
That was very good, especially because during the opening ceremony in the morning, we were still a bit half asleep, and we weren't expecting her to get up and start singing, which really helped wake us up, and it was really cool to get a taste of what she was going to do in the evening on ClubCon.
I think my favourite part from the day was the cosplayers.
Oh yeah, that's a good shout.
Yeah, especially some of the dance routines. They were really amazing.
Some of that felt very not age appropriate for the audience. But yeah, there's very good cosplayers.
You prude.
Hey, wait, not all Starscreamers can pull off a thong. Well, wait, no.
Starscream did not pull off the thong.
No, but she pulled it off.
Yeah, Starscream's dance was definitely my highlight. Really worth the ClubCon entry fee, to be honest with you.
Yet she didn't win. I mean, I felt she was Little Rob.
No, I thought that the cosplayers that did win were really good. I mean,
That's true.
the mech suit. I'm not. Was it Optimus Prime he was dressed as?
It was Getaway.
Getaway.
I mean, he did have a severed head, so it was.
Yeah.
He really put thought into his cosplay.
Yeah. No, it was just it would have been far too hard to choose. I didn't envy the judges having to choose between them. So we started our day off with the opening ceremony and Jahan getting on stage and singing. Really kicked off the day, got everyone excited for some trading.
Yeah.
I think she was probably single-handedly responsible for some of the money that went to Toifu, just getting people pumped.
Yeah.
And then you went off to the dealer hall. Any highlights from there? Any toys that you saw that you couldn't get but really loved being able to see there?
It was just so packed. We timed getting into the dealer hall not too long after it opened, and it was just so you couldn't see the tables. Like some of the queues were crazy. I got a good few sweeps around just to find out where some bits were, and to see if there was any dealers from who I saw last year. But most of the stuff I was looking for was mainline stuff, so I didn't think it would matter if I went back later. But it really did. A lot of the stuff I wanted was gone.
And there was a lot of hype around the really big Unicron that was there.
I mean, if there was a hype, it was more that I think a good chunk of people had not seen it in person. And it was quite something that it was there on display. Like some other stalls had it, but they had it still in box. But there was one stall in particular who had him open and had him out for everyone to see, and it was quite impressive.
And what about toys that you bought today, Saturday?
The toys that I finally got today, I only got 3 figures officially.
When you say officially, does that mean there's some figures you're not telling me about?
No. I mean, you bought me 2.
Oh yes, yeah.
And I think only other thing I bought was the T-shirt from Lucan's Tees.
Oh yeah, they had some really good designs there.
Yeah, so that's all. That was pretty much all my purchases for today. Not to say that the 3 I did get were not like big ticket items. So yeah,
I got a poster. I actually ended up getting a poster of Spider-Punk from one of the poster stalls. Do you remember what the poster stall was?
Oh no, I don't remember the guy's name off the top of my head.
And I got a couple of T-shirts from the guys as well. They were really cool. And after that, we went to the charity auction. And the mystery box, which actually ended up going for £200.
There was a lot of stuff in that charity auction that I mean, Jim Sorrison was the guy doing the, well, what would you call it? The bidding?
Oh, they do it all the time on daytime television.
Yeah.
Going once, going twice, sold.
That guy.
Yeah.
An auctioneer, right? No?
That sounds right to me.
Okay. I'm sure Ryan will let us know.
He is actually called.
No, that was really good. I think Jim was a bit trigger happy with raising the prices for things. He went up in like £50 increments.
Yeah, Jim. £50 is a lot to some of us, Jim.
I mean, I know it's for charity and everything, and in most instances it helped things get up to high numbers. But I think
That's very true.
I think for like the dramatic effect of an auction, it should have gone up a bit.
Yeah, we wanted some more theatre, Jim. Like,
yeah.
really leave us in suspense. Bring the money up slowly.
It's like we want it for £100. Anyone for £100? £200? But no, that was really cool. There were some things in that auction that even I was very close to. Like, ooh, do I want this? Where would I put a giant primal sword? But It was really cool. But then they had another auction later in the evening in part of ClubCon or just before ClubCon. I can't remember. But that's when they had the big exclusive ticket items.
Ah, my optics!
There's something I forgot to mention, and that was the RoboSen Robotics that we went to. They had the general manager of RoboSen, and he showed us some of the toys that RoboSen have made.
Yeah, it was.
What is it about those toys that's so cool that gets everyone so excited?
I guess it's more about the robotics than the toy itself, like the engineering and because there's been loads of self-transforming toys before, but like these seem quite advanced in their capabilities and how you can personalize their actions and stuff. Most of the times when something self-transforms, it does the transformation, and it could maybe walk a few feet, but these things can do all sorts, so very mobile. It's quite fascinating seeing characters that do those type of things.
I could tell that there was a lot of hype in the room about them.
Well, yeah, because they showed stuff that we couldn't film or take pictures of their old prototypes, and they were heavily hinting at a possibility of them doing the Constructicons, with the implications of it maybe filming to make a combiner, which is mind-boggling at just what the price of that would be, considering how much they are separately.
And then after that, I went to the Jeremey Levy. I think it was Jeremey Levy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He looks very much like Paul Rudd. That's what I was calling him throughout the day. And no one was confused when I called him that, because he looks so much like him.
I mean, if you told me they were cousins or something, I could believe you.
But I really enjoyed that. He did a few musical theatre numbers, but he did them with the voices of different Transformers. It was so funny.
Yeah, I think that's when I was back in the dealer room, so I just missed that.
I was having a really good time.
Yeah.
That was definitely one of my favourite panels. And ClubCon.
Mm-hmm.
We've already talked about the Pretenders cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had Transmission Incoming. I had no idea what that was going to be.
I can't remember what that was now.
That was the table reading of the script that they made.
Oh, yes, because because one of the guests, two of the guests couldn't be there, so some things got shuffled around in the day, and the charity auction got moved, and the table reading kind of swapped places with it.
Oh, yes. One was before that, wasn't it?
Yeah, because the table reading kind of tied into the Matrix test. Like it was a whole thing about them stopping to get to the Matrix, which was really good. It was really cool to see the voice actors do their thing, because all the voice actors are from different parts of the Transformers universe, but somehow they worked a little script that came together for them to make sense that they were all together.
Yeah.
Ah, my optics!
When we went to the Susan Blue Q&A before ClubCon, Susan Blue was talking a lot about women in industry and how things have changed. And I was very impressed, having grown up with cartoons myself, to see RC getting some of the jokes. Because I remember in a lot of cartoons when we were growing up, I got the perspective that the male characters were there to be funny and the female characters were there to roll their eyes at them. So it was nice to see her get some of the jokes, especially she got in my opinion, the most funny joke about the early 2000s Transformers films.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can do it. There is a big evil come to us at this bar. Not Michael Bay. No.
Something along those lines, yeah.
Yeah, I think I nailed that. But yeah, you're right. Till One of One was before the table reading, and they actually made £2,000 on one item from the Royal Mail collection for charity. So that was really good.
I want to say it was 1,600.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, it was that was something. Being in the room while that number just kept going up and up, because those ones I think they started at like 100 and something, and went all the way to 1,600 for a one of a kind stamp from the Transformers collection they did last year, and it was going to be personalized and signed from Susan Blue and get authenticized. It's going to be all.
I honestly don't know.
Okay.
Authenticated?
Authenticated. That's the word.
That sounds right, doesn't it?
That sounds like a word.
Not being so much in the collector world, I don't know the jargon. I suppose it's not really jargon, is it? It's just a word.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we had the Matrix test where we all teamed up to battle our wits with Chris McFeely's quiz.
Yeah.
That was
that was a fair battle.
I mean, he did proclaim to everyone that it was going to be a bit easier this year, and I think maybe it was because it wasn't as obscure as the one was last year. Like there was some real like tough questions last year, and there was some tough ones this year. But I mean, when they finally reveal what the answers were, you were like, "Oh yes, that would be very obvious if I had watched this show," type of thing. Like it's not like only if you had the tech specs or you had the back card of the toy when it came out in the year it came out. It's like it was actually possible for you to know these answers. And
they had digitized the quiz this year, and it was very funny to learn that a few people, instead of typing answers into the quiz form, had just typed, "Why are you hurting me? Why are you doing this to me?"
Yeah,
I think we felt that way too at parts of it.
I think they thought that because there was going to be more people there, that they didn't want to have a lot of scrap paper being thrown away just with the quiz, and they thought it'd make it easier to mark it. But we still don't know who won because apparently it took ages, and they pushed it back, giving the results all night, and they were like, "No, we'll just tell you tomorrow."
Yeah.
So we'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah. But thankfully, they put us out of our misery, and we had some excellent music.
Yes. Yeah, I ended off on a good note with Jahan's music.
Yeah. We may not know every obscure Transformer that ever turned up in any of the Japanese comics, but we can all headbang to Linkin Park.
Yes.
She was really amazing.
She was really good.
Yeah, that was a real highlight of TFN for me. I enjoyed last year as well with Gary, his musical stylings.
The stylings of Gary Chalk is it was so weird. I could not see Optimus Primal on stage while he was singing.
Are my optics. Hey, if you want to know everything you've ever wanted to know about the Transformers, please listen to Are My Optics.
And we got to hang out in the bar afterwards and see people with their Transformers. And get to meet someone who 3D printed some of his own Transformers, which was amazing.
That was amazing. The guy, I've been seeing the images of this animated scrapper on the online for years, and to finally meet the guy who was responsible for this masterpiece was amazing. He was just such a chill dude.
Yeah.
I mean, some people might be like, that he was just carrying around to show people, but I'm like, yes, show everyone. This is amazing. Why hasn't Hasbro come to this man and told him to come work with them? Because it was so cool. Yeah,
and he can make some contacts in case he decides to sell some down the line as well.
I think he should. I mean,
genius.
I don't know what the legal ramifications of such a thing is, but he should.
And yeah, that takes us up to now.
Catch you next time.
Yeah. Arg, my optics.
I'm Sam with SG1, coming to you live from TFNation, and you're listening to My Optics.
Hi, I'm Treble, and I'm just so pleased to be back at TFNation. I had to miss last year, and I came on the Sunday evening just to speak to people. I didn't get to do the convention at all, and being able to spend the entire time with everyone this year has been fantastic. I've made some very silly decisions in the dealer's hall, listened to panels, met some cool people, reconnected with old people. It's just a magical land, it really is. My optics!
Hello, my name is Matthew Grant, aka The Toy Therapist. You can find me on Instagram as toy_therapy. TFNation 2023, fantastic event. Great toys, great people, not so great food, and very high prices in the bar. Not very good on the budget, but still, either way, a fantastic weekend, or even a day where you prefer. Highlight, buying Hero Quest, nothing Transformers. All I gotta say is, my optics.
Oh, hey, I'm Ali Nunes on Instagram, or Alistair in like real life. I think the thing I'm most enjoying about this year's TFN, it's just the nice vibe in the room. It's like, it feels like being in the kind of around the stuff you love, with the people who love it with you. So can't be beaten. My optics.
Hello, I'm Mark, Marcus Prime, and we're here at TFNation 2023, and it's been absolutely awesome as always. And my optics.
This is Jeremey, also known as Jezatron78, taking a break from TFN, and it's been well needed. And you are listening to My Optics.
And that concludes our on-location coverage of TFNation 2023. But we're not done yet. Back home and in the Arg My Optics virtual studio, we have our roving reporters Virtual Dave and Virtual Amy to give us a recap on the events of the weekend. How's it going, virtual people?
Hello, listeners. We're back.
It's going very well, thank you. It's been, a week since TFN now?
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've just about recovered.
Almost.
Almost.
Good stuff. But firstly, thank you both for doing all that recording at the event. That was really good. You did a great job.
Thank you. I didn't do as good a job as the intro as you, especially as I forgot to introduce myself.
I thought you did an excellent job of taking my place and kind of, wrangling some sense out of Virtual Dave.
Yeah, you better watch out.
No, it was great. And Dave, you did a good job recapping, even if you did forget to tell us what you bought.
I know, yeah.
That was quite...
He didn't want me to know.
Yeah, I might be.
Well, you can probably tell us that in a bit. So I suppose it's just... now it's all over, now it's been a week. How about you tell us about the con, the highlights, what you enjoyed, etc., etc.?
From last year, we knew after our first experience, like this time round, the thing we really needed to do was go down a day ahead, the day after. I think that was that really helped. No rushing to get to the registration on the Friday or anything. We kind of got the day ahead.
Yeah.
Took our time.
This was only our second trip to TFN, so we're still baby TFNers, but we're starting to get the hang of how to do the convention and how prepared you need to be for it as well.
Oh gosh, yeah.
You need to really get rested. You don't want to go on the Friday and have been traveling all morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also went for dinner on the Thursday before with some of the other people we met last year.
Yeah, that was so nice.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So we all met up on Thursday and went to Resorts World and just got something to eat. Had a little catch up, and we kind of kept meeting up with them around the weekend and in the bar and different places.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone who goes to TFN knows about Resorts World, but anyone who's thinking of going, it's about a 10-minute walk from TFN, and there's just so many different options there. There's a lot of different restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great because a lot of people who are staying at the TFN don't want to budget for the TFN, staying at the Hilton where the TFN is held, don't want to budget for the meals there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really great resource that's right near the convention.
Yeah, because I mean it's a huge endeavor and it's quite an expensive thing to do. Like if you're
yes.
going down a day early and leaving a day late or whatever, you're there for like 3 to 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to get a hotel room for 3 to 4 days. You've got to get your travel up there. Not everybody lives particularly close to Birmingham. I know you're coming from London. I'd be coming from Brighton if I were going. Yeah, it's an expensive old con, isn't it? So you're having a cheaper place to go and have some food or whatever is very welcome.
And some people were doing that. Some of the other people we went and we met up with early, they went to a certain hotel on the end days, and for the con days they went for the Hilton.
That makes sense.
So they had the different rates to make it a bit easier on the wallet, so I would imagine.
Yeah. And we also got a sense from a lot of people we spoke to who went before us, so like in years prior, that it's really come up in price even just going to the convention.
Yeah.
So we went last year and people were saying then that it had really hiked up in price.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that was a big talking point, wasn't it?
Yeah, I hear there were some complaints, and I think David Wallace talked about it a bit when we chatted with him. They had to increase the prices just because everything's gone up in price, like renting the place out for the event, and just cost of living crisis and all that. Everything is a lot more expensive. Yeah, it is pricey. I don't think it's completely ridiculously overpriced for what you get.
No, not at all. It's really it's the only convention of its kind that I've ever been to, and I go to quite a few. So it's really, really nice. You get so much for your money, and it's just a different atmosphere. You've so much more access to the people that run the show, who come to talk, free autograph, talk to them, and all kinds of things that are behind like a ridiculous paywall at somewhere like MCM Comic Con in London.
Yeah, absolutely. There are no paywalls. Well, I mean, there's that legendary pass thing now, but generally there are no paywalls. You can go to every panel, you can meet every guest, you can get a signature. You don't have to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's one price. You pay for the day. You get to see everything that day.
And it was really good that they tried to split everything up a bit more this year. I feel like they really tried to manage what you were getting for each day, so you didn't have to be compelled or tied into buying the weekend ticket.
Mm-hmm.
So you could just, if you wanted to see the certain guests or go to ClubCon and whatnot, you were getting good things on each day.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I came last year just for the Saturday. I don't think I'd want to go for more than just the Saturday personally, and I think that's the best day to go on because it's got the most stuff on.
It was very busy though Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday.
True. Yeah, I mean, I suppose you get to chill out a bit more on the other days.
Yeah.
I'd rather do that at home.
My optics!
So, did you get to talk to many people, many famous and non-famous people?
Yeah, I would say so. I think this year we didn't go to every panel, and we were a bit more picking and choosing about what we did. So we did spend some more time in the bar this year as well. So we got time in some downtimes, to just sit down and talk to people, talk about what they got. And in some cases, you were talking to some YouTube celebs, and other people in the know-how of what goes on about Transformers. That was pretty cool. It was just fun, just randomly bumping into people, or people that we had saw last year who may have not spoken with the entire year, but remembered us very well, and a little chat.
Good stuff.
I got to have a good chat with Jahan, who does some of the music. She ran a concert for the ClubCon bit on Saturday. It was absolutely fantastic. And I got to have a chat with her, which was really nice. She was so friendly as well. And you got to have a chat with a couple of people in the bar. Thew, who runs Transformers Collector YouTube, and another collector.
Well, there was a few this year. There was quite a few YouTubers down I think there was a guy who came down from Australia, Diamond Bolt, and some guys from Canada. There was quite a few of them this year.
And Chris McFeely, right?
And Chris
We
McFeely,
chatted to him as well.
Yeah.
He's there every year.
Yeah. Yeah, they were all really nice. I mean, I got to speak to some of them about, what it's like for them what it's like to be being in this type of...
As a content creator.
Well, it's not so much it's more that once they come into like TFN, everyone knows who they are, and it's, I guess for them, it's kind of like they're not patrons in the same way as like everyone else. They almost like a part of it in a weird way, and some of them I feel like really kind of really take to it, and some of them are a bit like, why are so many people surrounding me type of thing.
Yeah, that was kind of a thing, is that we wanted to go up and say hi, but then of course, just like us, everyone else wanted to go up and say hi, so they were always surrounded by a little cluster of people.
Felt so sorry for them at some point.
Well, I mean, they've made a rod for their own back there. They're going to appear on YouTube and have successful YouTube channels. They're going to get recognised, and they're going to get, What they need to do is make a very unpopular podcast where they don't show their face. That's what they need to do.
So, yeah, that's the 5 brain.
Then they'll be anonymous. Anyway. So, yeah, did you speak to Dave Wallace while you were there?
I did. I saw him in one of the queues we were in. I think it was on the Saturday, because I really tried to hold back on just going up to everyone on the Friday. It was like, because everyone was doing their hugging and meeting and everything, I think, on the Saturday and Sunday. Slowly went around talking to people. Yeah, I spoke to Dave and, told him thank you for being on the podcast and giving us his insight on how the convention has been running over the years.
Yeah, it was great.
It was really nice for him to share his time, and got to talk to some of the other TFN staff, and yeah, they were all really nice.
Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see James Roberts?
I did, but I didn't get a chance to talk to him. Mm-hmm. Him and Nick Roach, impossible.
But you did get to speak to Jack Lawrence though, because you got us a little Arg My Optics sting from him, didn't you? So
I did get to speak to Jack.
He's a very nice guy.
He's very nice, and we got to speak to some of his friends that we met last year as well.
Mm.
Who I didn't realize that. Like from last year, we found out that Dave and Chris did the comic podcast together, and he was telling us stuff about that, and it was just so interesting. I had no idea all these things were going on with Sonic back in the day, so that was really cool.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think we mentioned that before when we were talking to David Wallace, weren't we? We talked about a little bit about his Sonic the Hedgehog podcast and comic and thing. But yeah, the live music looked interesting. I saw your reels. I think is that what you call them?
That's what they called now.
Did you make some reels?
Yeah.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, that was on Saturday in the part of CubCon. There was something that they swapped. I think 2 guests couldn't come, which I think they announced on the Saturday evening. So some things got jiggled about. So they had the script reading instead of something else just before the Matrix test with Chris McFeely, which was really good.
It was so funny. We talked about it in our nightly debrief, didn't we?
Yes.
I was going to say, you did mention it, yeah. And the Sue Blues joke or line.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love that. As someone who's come to judge the fandom.
It was really cool, because I've never witnessed a script reading like that in person, so it was really cool to see.
I don't know if anyone's ever witnessed a script reading like that in person.
Well, yeah. It was a very strange array of characters to be together at once, and I liked how they kind of made it work in the script to have them all together for this weird reason.
Had it been written especially for TFN then?
Yes, by the hands of Dave Wallace, I believe.
Oh, okay.
His own.
Well, that makes some sense, because he's a budding comic book writer. Tried to write a comic at one point, a Transformers comic. So I think he's got aspirations to write such things. So yeah, makes sense that he might do that.
It was good, and all the voice actors did amazing stuff. I mean, I just couldn't get over having David Savoy. His voice is so cool. Like, not even when he's doing the character stuff, just him speaking to you is so deep. It's so soothing.
Yeah, so David's, is it Savoy? I doubt his name's David Savoy.
Well,
Actually, looking at it now, how would you say that?
I mean, from reading it, it's I couldn't pronounce it, but I think they were calling him David Savoy.
Okay, no, we'll go with that.
Yeah, he was a true, what's the word, like baritone voice.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have realized that you could get so many different character voices out of that.
Yeah.
But he really could. So that was really cool.
Well, these guys are amazing, aren't they? Really, I mean,
Yeah.
Especially some of the ones that can do lots of voices. What was his name from Beast Wars?
Scott McNeil.
Scott McNeil, yeah, like unbelievable how many voices he did and how different they all were. Yeah, they're real. You know, it's a talent, obviously. You know, not everyone can do it.
And
it was go on.
Jeremey Levy as well. He was talking about all the different voices he'd done for an episode of Transformers that I've seen, and I couldn't believe that he was all those different voices, because he did like a news reporter, he did different accents, he did a child's voice and all things like that when Bumblebee lost his voice. And I was quite impressed with that as well.
Which Transformers series is this? Do we know?
It's the recent one.
Earthspark, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I didn't know who he was. I didn't really look into it at the time. But yeah, okay.
Well, you don't know who the people behind the voices are, do you? So
well, I do if it's a show I've watched.
You may, but one doesn't, because you don't see them. Wait, I forgot I'm on a Transformers podcast. You guys know.
I'm quite anal about that kind of thing. I have to know. I have to find out. You know, I look at the credits, and especially if it's a particularly good TV show, I will learn who's doing the voices. But yeah, obviously, as a layman or a general consumer, you may not be paying attention to who's doing the voices. You're just like, that's fine. That guy sounds like that, and that guy sounds like that. Didn't know that they're both voiced by the same person. But yeah, it was. I heard. Yes, the live music looked good, but it was a shame it wasn't Cybertronic Spree.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair,
because Galactosh was telling me that he'd been chatting with Rumble from Cybertronic Spree on Twitter or something, and he'd kind of dropped a kind of hint that they might maybe be playing a big British convention at some point.
Oh, right. I think the key word was big there.
Well, there's only one, isn't there?
I suppose, yeah.
Only one big one. This is it.
For Transformers.
Yeah, he didn't say just a big convention. He said a big Transformers convention.
Right, okay. Well, yeah, then there's only ones left, a small.
Maybe TFN got in contact with them, but nothing came to fruition. Maybe next time. Who
Maybe
knows?
Maybe next time.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the logistics of doing that, though. I mean, a full band, like a full rock band with all the instruments and everything, like that's going to be a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, it would be, especially with how they set up their stage and stuff.
Well, yeah, and the costumes and everything. It's going to be quite a lot of prep, a lot of gear, and they're from America, aren't they? So yeah, it'd be difficult. I can understand why it didn't happen, or why it hasn't happened yet.
But they played at TFN before, though.
I don't know. I don't think so. Because I asked Dave Wallace about it on the podcast, and he said it would be awesome, but he didn't think it would happen.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it was Jahan was like a very good musician, and
I loved it.
I was like,
sure.
I was shocked because I think I was speaking to you beforehand that she would be playing, but I wasn't sure what series and stuff that she's worked with. And until we went to her panel about music.
Yeah.
But I was surprised.
I just love that they do a concert, because they did a completely different kind of concert last year as well at ClubCon when they had the country music. And I just think that that's so great, because you've been learning about Transformers all day, and then I mean, I know that's why you go, but it is nice to have something at the end of the day that's just like to get you hyped and just to let loose and have a good time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, like 7 hours of Transformers, it's all right to have a break.
Yeah.
And,
Even at Transformers Con.
Yeah, but it was Transformers adjacent.
Yes, that's true.
She's done Transformers music, and she did music from the Transformers shows in the concert. So, you know, it wasn't completely separate, but it was something, a bit of entertainment at the end of the day. No, it sounds great.
My optics!
So, since you didn't tell us, Dave, what did you purchase while you were there?
Well, the only things that I was really wanting to get this time was the Legacy Armada stuff. And like I said on Saturday, it was so busy. I think we kind of we went in the room when it opened for the general ticket holders, and the queue went really quickly, and we got in, and it was just rammed in there.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's go back to the bar. I think we went to a panel, got a drink, and came back when it died down a bit.
It is a bit overwhelming.
Yeah, I couldn't even see the tables. You know, it was a lot. So, and I thought, because what I was getting was mainline stuff, I thought, that'll be fine. It's not like it's a rare item that I'll need to be tracking down. But there was a few bits that just wasn't there. Just kind of got gobbled up in those first few hours, I would imagine. But I did pick up the Armada Optimus Prime. I picked up the MMC Dasaurus.
Yeah.
The anime version.
Yeah, the G1 version.
G1 version. Yeah. I got that from Thew, so that was my Thew contribution from TFN. And the third thing was...
You got a Soundwave, didn't you?
No, you bought me that.
Oh,
you got... Do you want me to tell you what you got? You got Twincast.
You also got me that.
I got Twincast, apparently.
He's like Blaster, but he's blue.
Virtual Dave picked up a couple things at the start, and I'd done TFN as Dave's birthday present. So I said I'll get the first thing, and then I conveniently let him forget, in hopes that the first thing he picked wouldn't be I don't know, that giant Unicron in the middle of the room, and just called my bluff.
I went to In-Demand Toys because they had all those things on discount.
Yeah.
And I picked up a couple of those. Picked up the Core Class Sound Blaster, then the Shattered Glass Soundwave.
Yeah.
And Amy decided to chip in for those.
Yeah.
But we really like In-Demand Toys because they've got a shop in Norwich, and I live fairly, as close to there as you can in my town. We go there occasionally, don't we? And we also see them at MCM quite a bit and get something from them.
We do. I mean, it's I don't know if they find it weird that we keep following them around. Every convention we go,
I'm sure they're horrified. You follow them around and give them money every time you see them.
Yeah, how awful.
Yeah,
this guy keeps coming and giving us money. She'd leave us alone. What do you think we are, a shop?
Yes. And what was the last thing I bought? Oh, it was t-shirts. I bought some t-shirts from Lucan's Tees. They were really good. They were really good. I liked his designs this year. In fact, I could tell almost half of the TFN goers were wearing his t-shirts. It's quite a popular store.
Yeah, I know you picked some stuff up from me last year as well, didn't you?
I did indeed, yeah.
Yeah. I liked his little sting he did for us.
Yeah.
He's got quite a distinctive voice.
He does indeed. He thought that he wouldn't be able to do it, but I was like, go for it, do whatever you want, and yeah.
Yeah, that's lovely. I think if I were there, I might have been tempted by the unreleased G2 Deco, Jazz, Mirage, and Sideswipe.
Oh yes, yeah.
Just because I think they look cool and they're a bit different, and they might have been a bit cheaper. Although the ones that I asked you to pick up were not discounted, annoyingly.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate.
It's like Bomb Burst was 10 quid, and and it's like, I suppose 10 quid would have been fine, but I'd rather just pick them up on discount when they end up in B&M or whatever.
Yeah.
Because they're just desk toys, really, the core class stuff. I like them as little things to fiddle with, but they're not things I want desperately to display or anything.
Yeah, I mean that was the other thing. I mean, I did go, and Amy saw me going through my phone to have my guide of like all the different Marvel comics you're looking for and different figures. I did do some poking around and asking people. I did ask someone at one point if they had the Cloudburst, and they brought out the G1 version. I thought, that's not what I meant.
I mean, I'd love a G1 Cloudburst, but that wasn't actually what I was after. No, I was quite happy with the little core class thing.
Yeah.
I got a couple of bits for Dave. It's a good place for me to go Christmas shopping because I can never buy you an action figure because you'll either have it already or it won't be the right thing or it won't be the right scale. There's so much you can get wrong. But at TFN, there's all kinds of bits like mugs and T-shirts and posters and things like that. And I was going around chatting to people, telling them about you and getting advice on what to get. And one chap actually, I got a poster off him, and he said his wife has the same problem with him, that she can never buy him a toy because it's just so difficult to get the exact right thing with how much there is on the market. And he ended up giving me a little freebie, just out of sympathy.
Oh, it's absolutely right. Like, I mean, I wouldn't even dream of asking for, or expect my other half to buy me Transformers or buy me toys or even comics or maybe records, because she knows plenty about music herself. But like, we're a picky, finicky bunch, collectors. It's like, oh, I want that one, but I want it with that deco or in that size or whatever. And I'm more picky and finicky than most. So like, yeah, I wouldn't even dream of even asking her to do that. So yeah, it's good actually to be able to go and ask for some proper collectors' advice. I mean, I probably know more about what toys Dave's got in his collection than you do.
Yeah. I don't even know how many there are.
Oh, I'm sure he's hiding some.
Oh yeah, I'm quite sure.
Maybe not. I don't know. Yeah. But no, it was nice doing that, like going around and talking to people in the dealer room, because even I think I was at the Toy Thew stand at one point, and I was just in awe of all the different stuff from all different eras and time frames of Transformers on that table. And I just got talking to some guy standing next to me and had a little chat, and we got to a point where I mentioned the podcast, and he was like, "Oh yeah, Arc My Optics, I listen to them." I was like, "Oh yeah,
all right.
That's us."
Didn't recognise your voice then.
Yeah.
Quite a few people at the convention were calling you Dave, so they clearly knew you as Virtual Dave.
That's true.
Which I find hard whenever I'm a special guest. I find it hard to keep to your podcast name, even though I listen as well.
Mm-hmm. I mean, everyone knows my real name, but I mean, it's just a thing.
Yeah, it's your podcast.
It's my podcast name.
Yeah, we're not shy of sharing our real names.
No,
it's just it's nice to keep it. It's nice to keep it separate from our regular lives.
A work-life balance.
Yeah, exactly. So, did you pick up anything else of interest? Or see anything else of interest?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's just I got what's his name from Gav Spence. I got some bits at his table.
Oh, cool.
That was pretty cool because he was the guy who had the little figures and the little Cyber Planet keys and things that they had molded in different colors and stuff. It was really cool. And I forgot the name of the artist that was sitting next to him. He was like drawing like different characters, and we just stood there watching him because it was just so good the way he was just doing it there live and in person.
Nice. Yeah.
What else did you get?
That I was just about to say that was it for me. A poster for myself, a little freebie magnet, and some secret parts.
Some other things that I wasn't allowed to see.
Yeah. I need to give you at Christmas.
Maybe.
Future presents.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Oh, my optics!
anything else you'd like to share about your experience?
What was your highlight of the convention, Virtual Dave? I know we talked about our highlight from each day when we were tired at the end, but
You've had a week to think about it now.
I still think the Matrix test was really good, like the quiz. I think Friday, all day on Friday, people kept making jokes about it, like on the panels, and like Dave kept poking fun at him. He keeps saying that this year Chris has made it easier. You know, he's actually like, even Dave saw some of the questions and he got some of them right. So it's like, there's hope.
one team got 25 right. So
yeah.
Which to
Out
me was
of?
crazy. Out of 35.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's pretty good then, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, it was easier. I mean, though, it was just, I think it was a bit difficult. It's like, so this year they got rid of paper, like no handwritten.
Yeah, I think you mentioned in your update
Yeah.
it was digital, and it took a while for them to collate the results, unfortunately.
I'm not sure if we mentioned it, but like it took to like Sunday evening. Like
Yeah, you did.
it
Yeah,
took
yeah.
ages.
Yeah. But they hadn't anticipated that people would drop out halfway through, and that messed up their Excel spreadsheet. So
And how many teams there were? They said they had over 200 teams.
Wow.
Like, I don't think they really thought about the cap on how big a team should be.
Yeah,
Or...
that's insane. I mean, I go to a lot of pub quizzes, and the idea of there being 200 teams and then having to mark all those sheets, even if it's done digitally, that's nuts.
Yeah.
No wonder it took them so long.
But it was really good. It was fun. Even though that we were doing it on devices, it was like 40 seconds interval, so you knew that no one could have time to really cheat or anything. And it was good. It was good. It was a good bit of fun. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed the script reading. And there was the really eccentric panel we had from the Gundam people on the first
that
day.
was the very first panel,
Yeah,
and it was great because it really set the tone for the convention.
It really did.
It was so funny, and we've built a couple of those Gunpla things together, haven't we?
We haven't done Gunpla.
Well,
We've
not
done-
Gundam,
but
but
we've done some model kits, yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah,
Same sort of thing.
Yeah. But that was really cool because obviously the person who did that did one last year about
Yeah.
anime robot history.
She was so funny that time as well.
And she had someone else with her this year, and they kind of was just like a bit more of a comedy act on stage this time.
Oh yeah, and she was really friendly. We met her later on and had a chat.
Yes, they were staying in our hotel. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that was good. I mean, that was probably like the big highlights for me. I think I know what Amy's might be, but
Oh, mine was definitely Jahan.
yeah.
Yeah, I just loved her music. So good. But I did also really enjoy the history of Gunpla, even though I don't know anything about Gundam at all.
And the cosplay competition.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's actually too much to choose between. On the cosplay competition, a few of the cosplayers did like a dance routine related to their character, and there was one especially who did Starscream, and her dance routine was just too funny.
a little bit blue, I hear.
Yeah, it was risque.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's fine. We're all adults. Well, mostly.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't.
It was just.
It just was not expecting it.
Yeah.
It was on the border.
Yeah,
On the border
that's
of
the
what's
one.
acceptable. Yeah.
I think, like I mentioned it last year, like you
Yeah.
could tell from the TFN staff, like the lady, I forget her name, who presents it,
Yeah.
like you can tell by her face if they were expecting them to do something. And like certain times you look at her just like,
All
should
I'm
I
saying,
stop this from happening?
Superman wears red Y fronts on the front of his costume all the time, and that's
Who?
child appropriate. Is it Superman? No, I've not got the.
No, yeah, it's
Oh,
Superman,
thank
yeah.
goodness! I thought I got the superhero wrong there.
No, you're not wrong. Yeah, Superman does wear underpants on the outside of his trousers, but he is also wearing trousers.
As was Starscream.
Well, there you go. That's fine then.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I'm not sure Superman's that flexible though. Those
Being
drops,
flexible
splits.
is not child appropriate. Children should be upright and rigid at all times.
Yes.
So yeah, cosplay, great. Did you see the panel with, is it Andy Cousins, the toy designer?
That was one of the guests who couldn't come.
Oh,
but
really?
they still did the panel, but it was just presented with Dave and Chris McFeely,
right?
And they talked everyone through it because of the big reveal at the end of the panel of obviously looking at all of Andy Cousins' designs and variant color schemes for characters of predominantly Action Masters is what they showed us. They had recreated some of those Action Masters. I think, is it Matt or Matthew from Thew was the guy who took the molds and redid it in the colors that Andy Cousins designed. Like all these weird variants for, was it Jazz?
Yeah, I've seen some of those. They look fantastic. I mean, I was an Action Masters fan, so that's nostalgia gold there for me.
And that was really good. That was the other thing, isn't it? The auction that they had like a charity auction.
Oh yes.
Where they auctioned off some of those, and there were so many cool items, but it was just like the way that they auctioned them off.
He was going up in really huge increments,
Yeah.
wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't as suspenseful. It was just like, wow, it's so expensive now. No one else is going to bid on this except like the same 4 guys.
But some of the items did end up going for quite a lot, though.
Yes. That I think it was the RC stamp that was the most expensive one.
Oh yes, because that went for over $1,000, didn't it?
I think it's like 1,600 in the end.
I think you were both very confused about how much that was on your update. I think.
Oh yes, we did talk about that already.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think I think you came in quite low, Amy, and then it turned out it was like thousands more.
It was I think even the guy who won it, when you saw his face, he was like, "Wow, this is." This is a purchase.
Yeah, you've got to be a dedicated and affluent collector to manage to pull that off. But it's great. I mean, if the money's going to charity, then that's fantastic.
Yeah, of course, yeah. It was really good.
And you got to see some RoboZen stuff in the flesh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did indeed.
There was a panel, and then they were also out in the dealer hall as well.
Talking about very expensive things that most normal folk can't afford.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was their panel on how they talked about, the progression of the robotics side of it and how they've really, well, not cornered the market, but really focused on the transforming part and working out into what other robotic stuff they've got for that type of price range. It was quite interesting, and all the different types of stuff they've worked on previously and how they've kind of funneled that into a transformer, and the stuff that they showed that we weren't allowed to film or record for what may or may not be happening in the future was very had a bit of a wow factor after that panel. It was like, wow,
yeah,
how is anyone going to afford that? But that it will be amazing.
I think these things are for a different type of people to me and you. Like, I don't want my Transformers to transform themselves, but I do appreciate the robotics of it all and like the ingenuity of it. Of course, it's amazing, but I wouldn't want one.
Yeah,
it just wouldn't. It's a great big kind of party piece, isn't it? It's like, look at my transforming robot. I can talk to it and it will get up and move around and stuff. But I think if I had one, say someone gave me one, it would be like, oh, this is cool. I'd play with it for a while, and then it would just go away somewhere or sit somewhere. You know what I mean? I think it's for a different type of person because most Transformers fans want that tactile thing, and you don't really get that with these so much. But they are absolutely amazing.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It was even seeing them in person. It's they're amazing. I mean, the Grimlock is actually really cool. Like, it's a lot bigger than I thought it was in person.
Well, it is £1,600.
Yeah, but I mean, it looks. It looks to be.
Or something like that.
Let me put it a different way. It looks better than the Prime, the Bumblebee, even some of the other stuff. Like, it just looks more presentable.
Oh, absolutely.
As a character to do that, because I think the Prime still looks a bit wonky, if you ask me. I mean, I get the people's idea of it looking more MPO1 type, rough around the edges, but
I think of the lot, the Bumblebee looks the worst.
Yeah. He looks more like the red one than anything else.
Yeah, he's got that kind of soft, rounded edge kind of G1 cartoon aesthetic.
Yeah.
Which, I can take or leave. And it doesn't transform, so what's the bloody point? I mean, not that I'm against non-transforming Transformers. I have some, and I love, like I said, I loved Action Masters at the time. But I think one of the selling points of those robots and things is that they do transform, and that the way that Grimlock transforms is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Just it's breathtaking watching it do it.
And I love that they've not fixed, but thought more about that whole when it's not powered on thing. Like the Prime, it doesn't collapse. You can just steer it in dinosaur mode.
It's a bit of a letdown on Optimus, wasn't it? It just goes when it's off. It's like you can't even display it. Although they're now releasing a stand for it.
Oh, are they? Oh.
Don't know whether you've seen. Yeah, they're releasing a stand that's going to basically allow it to be stood up in a pose. I don't know how many hundreds of pounds that's going to cost.
That's to say.
You'll be able to buy that if you wish. It's a nice add-on. Cool. So you had a great time. Really enjoyed it. Made a lot of new friends.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Made a lot of new friends. Met some TFN veterans and some newbies as well that we got to chat with and give some advice onto them as well about stuff to look out for, think about. But yeah, it's just like I can't really do it justice. I'll describe the vibe at TFN, like how it's just kind of a relaxed community of people who just enjoy this franchise in all sorts of different ways. And they kind of just get along in this bubble of like, you like the live action films and I like Armada, but we can have a drink together and talk about, the toys we've bought and, it's just a nice...
Yeah, no, I agree. When I went, it was a nice vibe. You could sit and talk to anybody and, people would just rock up and talk to you.
Yeah.
No snobbiness or anything. It's very nice. So, will you go again? Yeah, I imagine the answer is yes.
I'd go again. Would you?
Yeah.
Yep.
Excellent.
Going next year. I mean, I might go again one day. I think I didn't go this year just because I was feeling a bit kind of burnt out with Transformers. And also, it's a lot of travel, a lot of money. And I'm not really in the market for anything much at the moment. So, a big draw of it is buying stuff, isn't it? I mean, obviously you get the kind of, get to talk to people about the hobby and so on. That's fantastic. And there's panels and all that. But, for what it costs, you kind of want to come away with something. And it wasn't much that I wanted. So, and had a lot of other things going on anyway. So, but yeah, I might go again next year, or maybe if they do one of their mini cons and they do it down south, I might go to that.
No, they've already announced that they're doing it again in Manchester.
In Manchester, right? Well, yeah. I'm not going to Manchester, but if they did one in, say, London or Brighton would be nice, but I don't think that's going to happen. If they did, then I might go to that. I think for me, a whole weekend is too much. I don't think I could handle it.
It is a commitment. There's no doubt about that. I mean, I think that's probably like one of the other things in this favour of it just coming around once a year.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is a lot, and then you need the time apart to then want to go back again.
Oh yeah, they couldn't do it more than once a year. That would be insane, especially with how much it all costs and hotel rooms and et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, all right. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It was actually, there was a little girl and her family towards the end of Sunday. The dad made an announcement about how they were going to be going to Disneyland.
And they couldn't go to Disneyland,
go.
but she said that TFN was even better.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was really cute.
Yeah.
But she hasn't been to Disneyland, has she?
Well, we don't know. We
don't
don't
know.
know
But-
her
So
timeline.
how can she
As
compare?
someone who's been to Disneyland, I think that's pretty big.
I mean, we're leaving a lot out of the story just for the sake of the listeners, but the dad told a very tear-jerking story, and it ended with that.
Yeah.
And it was really sweet.
When you don't get to go to Disneyland, it is tear-jerking. And as a grown-up, I think that. But yeah, pretty big endorsement for TFN.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's nice to see that kids enjoy it as well.
Yes.
And that there's stuff for them there.
It was a lot of kids there this year.
Yeah, there were actually.
I think even more than last year. You could tell that maybe one of the parents was really into Transformers or something. I mean, really from both of them. But the kids were really having a good time. They weren't just being dragged along. It was like, oh, all right, Dad. You know, it was
Excellent.
They were running up to the stalls and buying stuff.
Well, that's fantastic. That's what they need. Young blood.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Feed us.
Us old farts can't keep it alive forever. Oh, fantastic. Well, great. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And maybe I'll go to a future one. And see you guys.
A lot of people were asking for
Come
you.
with us.
Well, you say a
Whatever.
lot of people. Some people, I imagine.
Some.
And it's nice to hear people say that they do listen to the podcast and they do enjoy it. That's always very heartwarming.
Even people who, did stings for us last year were, telling how they've been keeping up, or they've heard some of the TFN episode and they liked listening back to it from what we spoke about at the last
good stuff.
Yeah.
catch up debriefing. That was really cool.
Yeah, thanks so much to everyone who did a sting with Virtual Dave this year.
Sorry for all of the weird audio that we had to endure, because some people were. I just got them in the middle of the deal all ended it, but
it sounded great.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
When I was with you, you were telling people to step outside.
Yeah, I was like, at that point, I was like, yeah, maybe I should have been taking people outside.
To be honest, it sounded great with all the ambience of the whole thing. So yeah, it was great.
Okay.
No problem at all. You did a great job. Thank you very much,
Good job, Dad.
both of you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, anything else?
Just thanks to everyone who made us feel so welcome.
All the different people that we spoke to and asked for, photos and different things, all the cosplayers that we, snap pictures of. It was to say thank you to everybody. It was so cool and a nice experience. And I recommend it to anyone who's interested in going.
Yeah.
Great.
My optics!
Well, that's our second and maybe third, if you count our interview with David Wallace, TFNation podcast in the bag. Were you at TFNation? Do you wish you were there? Did you bump into Virtual Dave and or Amy? Be sure to let us know on social media. You can find me on Twitter at GearOrion and on Instagram, Orion_Ghia. But more importantly, Dave, where can they find you?
You can always find me on Virtual Dave 26 on Instagram and on Twitter.
Yep. Virtual Amy, it's been a pleasure having you back.
Well, thank you.
And having you take on my my usual role of getting Dave to talk.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was great. Before we go, I do want to make a special shout out to Jeremey, aka Jezatron78, which I assume makes him exactly my age. Not 78, as in born in 78. He was very nice. He sent us a little message about the podcast. He really warmed the cockles. As per usual, if you enjoyed the podcast, please let us know by subscribing, sharing, commenting, etc., etc. We really appreciate it. Thank you for listening, and please join us again next time on Shout It Together.
All right, optics!